Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. The next beer coming up is one that was very kindly sent to me. It's the second and last beer that was sent to me very kindly from Rate My Beer, Paul and Michelle at Rate My Beer. If you've not watched any of their videos, go and check out their channel. They're like the Laurel and Hardy of beer reviews. No, they're better than that, to be honest. They are better than that. But they do lots of different stuff. So go and check them out. They very kindly sent me this beer. Lovely couple. So the beer we are going to be looking at is the Kronenbourg Blanche Maltee, coming in at a big old 7.2%. There's the artwork. It's a 500ml can, by the way. It's quite a cool artwork, but it's typical sort of European sort of beer kind of thing, I would say. I had no idea what this beer was, so I looked it up, and apparently it's a cross between a wit beer, or white ale as they call it, and they're blonde. Me saying it's a cross between a wit beer, wheat beer, and a blonde ale. So it'll be interesting to try. Probably going to be very different to what I sort of expect. So yeah, let's get her cracked open and see what we get. So a big thank you to Paul and Michelle for this, much appreciated. I've reviewed the Kronenbourg 1664 Blanc already. So that's already up, so take a look at that. That was a really nice beer, that was. And this is looking very interesting. Yeah, it has that sort of blonde look, but it also has a bit of a Weizen look about it. It's definitely a little bit different. A little bit left in the can. Beer in a glass. That's sort of very much a marmalade looking beer. You are seeing, I would say, exactly the same as what I'm seeing my side. Hazy marmalade kind of looking beer. A thick, compact, almost got a marmalade-y, well, no. Yeah, it's almost got marmalade sort of tinge in the white head. Not seeing many bubbles going up. Again, this glass never creates an awful lot of bubbles because it's not nucleated. So, stop waffling and dive in on this and see what we get. I didn't even know sort of Kronenbourg done a blonde ale, so be interested in the fact that it's mixed with a wheat beer, if you like. Let's dive in with the nose anyway. Give it a sniff. Cheers. Ooh, it smells potent. It's got some welly behind it. You are getting that wheaty beer, that little bit of coriander in there. I know Kronenbourg are sort of French, or it's originally sort of like a French beer. But you're sort of getting that Belgian yeastiness sort of blonde going on in the background as well. So you are getting a mix of both the beers. Anyway, let's stop sniffing. Thank you, Paul and Michelle. Let's dive in on Kronenbourg Blanche Maltee. Cheers. A little bit different. It's got to be said, it's a little bit different. Body. It's got quite a weighty body to it. Well, yeah, it's got quite a weighty body to it. It's quite sort of thick, or feels quite dense when you drink it. I think that thick, creamy head's going to help that. It has got that wheat beer carbonation in there. It's sort of like got a quick fizz of carbonation that goes across your palate when you drink it, but it doesn't really roughen up the mouthfeel or anything. It's mental because although it's almost like a hybrid beer, you can separate the beers quite easily in this, even with the carbonation. So you get that fizz of carbonation that you would expect from a wheat beer, but once that goes, it really does feel like a blonde ale. On the taste, you're greeted with that typical sort of blonde ale feel to it. Just literally a split second behind that, you get the wheatiness, you get the coriander. You almost get that, there's almost an orange sort of citrus note in there of the wheat beer thing. And that fades off and you're sort of left with you're left with a typical sort of French blonde beer. French beers tend to have that set taste for me, and this is no different, and you get that sort of in the background of this beer. It is nice actually. It's a little bit odd, it's a little bit of a mixture, but it's nice. The 7.2%, I said it smelt a little bit boozy on the nose. But I think that booziness is well hidden in there. I don't think you get that 7.2% at all. You could say that was something high fives. That's drinking about 1.5% lower than what it actually is. It's a decent drop. It is a decent drop. It has that refreshing side to it of a wheat beer. Not initially on the start, and then you get it sort of in the middle or just after, as I said, with the taste, and then it goes back to being sort of like a blonde ale, which, don't get me wrong, they're nice and they're refreshing, but they're quite heavier sort of beers. But yeah, it's an interesting beer and I do like it. I got to admit, I was thinking, I'm wondering if this is going to be a bag of shit, but I quite like it. It's definitely an interesting mix between a wit beer and a blonde. Pardon me. Gas is coming back up. But yeah, it's worth a try. It really is. I don't know where Paul got this from. Don't know if he's sort of... Well, I don't know. He's got it from somewhere online, obviously. But is it worth a try? Yes, it's well worth a try because it is an interesting combination. So a big thank you to Paul and Michelle for this from Rate My Beer. Don't forget, go and check them out. Kronenbourg Blanche Maltee, 7.2%. Give it a go if you see it. If you've had it before, let me know what you think. Feel free to comment. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again soon on another one. Cheers.